Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. I want to dive into this NC State Duke situation because it is one of the more interesting and fascinating results. And it's going to go final here in a second. It's 71-61. NC State is up. But Randolph, I want to go to you first on this one. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that 19 days ago, North Carolina State was losing to Louisville in the 10-15 game of the ACC tournament, and they have managed to reel off now 9 straight wins to get themselves to the Final Four. What the hell is going on right now? What is happening with the Wolfpack? How did this happen?
You know what? I don't think anybody can give you a definite answer. I think a level of desperation came in. One thing I thought they did, they were forced to play with their bigger lineup a lot more. I thought DR was just incredible for them in that stretch. I thought his play defensively, he just started dominating the glass. The one thing I think that happened to them too is DJ Burns. I thought Horn would wear down. DJ Burns just started becoming more aggressive. I think he was early in the year. I felt like he was being a little too unselfish. Maybe it was conditioning, whatever it was. He just wasn't as aggressive scoring. And now you see him as they got the winning and they got to the tournament. Obviously, he was MVP of the ACC tournament, and it just hasn't stopped. And he's going to be a load, man. He can flat out play. They're just rallying together right now. Keats has figured this group out, and credit to him and credit to NC State, man. It may be the best story right now in the tournament.
Jeff?
I mean, I think Keats was gone. I really do. I believe Kevin Keats was going to be fired, 3 weeks ago. And, he adds 3 years onto his contract. He galvanizes now the NC State fan base, which is a miserable group most of the time, let's face it. But today, man, the women win. The women get to the Final Four about an hour and a half ago, and now the men join them. Like, what a day for Pac fans. They deserve it. I've known Kevin Keats for 20 years. I used to run a prep school event, and he was at Hargrave Military Academy. He used to be a pain in the ass when I would schedule it. A pain in the ass to try to schedule. We'll get him on to talk about that, I'm sure, this week. But I'm really happy for him. And, man, Duke played one hell of a shitty game. I mean, all around. Like, they were awful offensively. They were atrocious. Tyrese Proctor didn't even show up. Like, I'm not even sure he was on the court today. NC State earned this, man. Like, you get hot at the right time, and look at what can happen, especially with an older group, right? Everybody on this NC State team that played minutes today, none of them started at NC State. Not a single one. All transferred into the program. Some in their 6th year, like DJ Burns. Some, like Ben Middlebrooks, transferred in. He's in his 3rd year. Coming in from Clemson, played a huge role today. Again, get hot at the right time. They're the poster children for it right now.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the Duke,
two guys, and let's be honest, they went on this run. They don't have a deep bench. This isn't a deep team at all. And then DJ Hearn hobbled through the ACC tournament, and they're just patching this thing up and just going along. That's what's been so impressive about the run is they haven't even been completely healthy doing this run. And the guys just stepped up, whether it was Jaden Taylor stepping up, knocking down big shots. He was known more as a defensive guy. Casey Morsell started knocking down shots, figuring out, picking moments and showing up in some of the big moments. Like, it's like everyone on that group just elevated their play, and they've all have had their moments doing this run. I mean, even coming off the bench, O'Connell coming in, starting, playing heavy minutes, and now he's made plays. Like, everybody on that team through this entire run has contributed in a major way and has significant moments in them winning, this streak. And let's see how far it goes.
Yeah, I do think that the guy that I want to give a lot of credit to is DJ Horn, because it feels like every time they needed a big bucket, every time they needed someone to make a big shot, every time it felt like, he was what, 7 for 16 today? But every one of the shots that he took where it was like, ooh, that's a big one, or ooh, that's a momentum-changing shot, or ooh, that can push this lead to 7 points or something like that for the first time, right? He hit all of those. And He's not a guy that I think we necessarily expected that from at all this season. Is that fair, Randolph?
I won't say expected. I thought that he had to play at this level if they were ever going to achieve anything close to this, because he was the go-to guy. He has had his moments now. You're talking about a guy that's going to be expected to get all conference honors. So he showed he can flat out score it. There wasn't a question about that. The concern that I had was I didn't know if another guy was going to step up. Casey Moselle didn't shoot it well throughout the year. So was he going to step up and have those moments? And he has in the postseason. He didn't have those moments early on. And they were just shoveling around. You just felt like what this rotation was going to look like. I don't think they knew. Some of it was guys wanted to get out. Breon Patz, guys got injured. There was injuries. There was guys getting in the portal. And he's got 7 guys, man, that they're playing with. And like I said, they have all had their moments. Horn has to be the guy to step up and make plays for him. I mean, he has to be that guy. But everyone else, again, in this run, you can look at all 6 players from Middlebrook to Muhammad Diarra O'Connor. Everyone has had moments throughout this run where you're like, that's a hell of a game. They put a signature run. This isn't one guy carrying them all the way through. They all have had significant moments in this run, man. It's been a hell of a run, and it's been sure as hell, to me, been the funnest story about this tournament.
I'm so excited to see DJ Burns go up against Zach Edey. that is going to be so much fun. And look, I'll say this: I brought my shades out for DJ Burns. I got the shades out for DJ Burns. I cannot wait. We were talking about this before, right? I think that when it comes to viewership and traffic and the audience and the people that are going to paying attention to this, having a brand the size of Duke in the Final Four is a good thing for most businesses. And I could say this as a business owner that operates in the space right now, right? Our numbers are going to go up. But with UConn and Purdue and what looks like going to be the eventual clash of the Titans, I think we're going to be fine from that perspective. I'm so happy that we have a character like DJ. Like, he is the kind of person, the kind of player, the kind of personality, the kind of, let's just call it what it is, unique body shape that only happens in college basketball. And getting him onto the biggest stage, I think he's going to be an electric personality. I think we're going to see a lot of NIL deals coming in for my guy, what's his name now? The walking vending machine with ballerina feet. Shout out to Terrence Oglesby. I can't wait for him at the Final Four, man.
Listen, I've been a big fan of his. I've been yelling it for the last couple of years. I call him the unofficial mayor of Raleigh. I've always been a fan of his personality, just because of who he is. He's comfortable in who he is. You don't expect a guy built like that to play the way he does and to have the touch that he does. And credit to Keats and his staff, man. I think he changed his staff a couple of years ago. And as you said, those guys that come in, with only guaranteed 2 years, and hearing all the rumbles, and it takes a collective effort. Keats relies on those guys. So shout out to his staff. It's just fun to watch, man. I mean, and staying with DJ Burns, I mean, you just don't, you don't worry about the pro stuff, the NBA stuff. You just look at it for what it is. And a guy that started out at Tennessee, couldn't cut it, went to Winthrop, started back over, and then he was supposed to, and I tell people this, he was supposed to be a backup at NC State. That Keats a year ago was like, I want to get him in the game for maybe 10 minutes and we're going to run zone. This, and anybody that's watched Keats, this isn't how he plays. And then he made this guy, the point guard essentially in the half court. Like, no one plays that way. Throw it to a guy that posts up at the 3-point line and let him dribble, spin off, you play. And he's such a big time passer, man. He's a tough matchup. I'm so happy for him. And I really think this matchup with Zach Edey is going to be interesting, because I think he's actually wide enough to give Edey some problems when he spin on him, because both of those guys play off contact. So it's going to be really funny to see that matchup. And I think they'd be underestimating how successful DJ Burns will be.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.